guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khadijah for those of you that don't know me, and this is a place for young entrepreneurs looking for a little guidance through their journey and want to look good while doing so. It's been a year. It's been a whole entire year. So, if you guys don't know, I trade in the foreign exchange market and I mentor other people to do the exact same thing. I have my own investment group, but I partner with I Am Mastery Academy, also known as IML. So basically, this has been my year mark. I enrolled on August 25th of 2019. So about next week, I think, is going to be a year. Today's the 16th. So I'm filming a little early. But definitely just wanted to discuss, how I'm feeling in the moment, what position I'm at right now, return on investment, and just wrapping it up with like a little advice that I would give someone, if they were in my position. So first things first, it's been a whole year. That's wild to me. Like, that's crazy. Like, I've been doing this for a whole entire year, right? So I am 22 years old. I went to school for fashion merchandising. So I have my full-on degree in business and professional studies. So I have a business degree, but I decided that I didn't want to be a part of that rat race anymore. Like, I didn't want to end up, in somebody's cubicle working for someone else and not pursuing my own dream. I know a lot of people end up doing that and then go on into entrepreneurship, but honestly, this was placed into my lap and I kind of was just like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I am the type of person, like, I don't mind taking risks. Like, I really do believe in YOLO. Like, you only live once. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't want to die, like, regretting things. So I personally just went for it. I know that's not the norm, but I know it was probably the norm for our generation specifically. Like, I guess I'm considered a millennial. I know a lot of people really think that, we're lazy, we don't want to work. But I just never been a person that dealt with authority well. I've never been a person that liked to be told what to do. I want to make my own schedule. I want to be my own boss. I want to tell myself what to do. So yeah, that's personally why I chose this. So this probably may seem like I don't do well with working with other people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I would rather be in charge of who I choose to work with, like I would prefer to work for myself and choose who I want to be around me, if that makes sense. Position. But back to what I was talking about, it's been a year. Definitely I will say I'm not disappointed, but this is not the position that I expected myself to be in. And I think this is something I had to come to terms with, just starting something new, something that I've never done before. I definitely had expectations, of course. Like, everyone does that. When they start something new, they expect to be at a certain point, like by year end, and that's where I was. I really did expect to be in a different position by this year mark. But definitely, I really definitely have gotten to the point of embracing my journey a little bit more. I made a IGTV video. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'll put it down here somewhere. But I made an IGTV video about 3 months ago when I was at my 9-month mark, and I was saying that I'm finally feeling like I'm becoming a leader that I'm meant to be, right? So I definitely do feel that, this is a space where I am a mentor. People look to me for the answers. They ask me for things. They, look for guidance from me. And I never felt like I was that person. I never felt like I was the person with the answers, quote unquote. So I literally was like, it was weird for me to like navigate the space in the first place. It was weird in the first place. But definitely I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm becoming more comfortable being in that position. And that's one thing I will say. I'm very proud of myself. I have been, getting a lot more comfortable being in that position, being the person that, has to have the answers. So that's something that I had to get used to, but I feel a lot better now about. Definitely, I will say, like I said, I wanted to be in a different position, but I wanted to make sure that I am starting to embrace my journey and understand that nobody else's journey, this journey isn't anyone else's but mine. Like, it isn't. So I want to make sure that I'm embracing it for what it is, and learning as I really am learning things as I go. and I'm not perfect. I'm human, you know. I definitely am young, you know. I still have a lot of stuff to learn, but I definitely want to make sure that I am not having too many expectations of what, you know, my process is supposed to look like, because it's mine, it's not anyone else's. So I don't have anything to model it. I don't have anything to model it off of. So I shouldn't be trying to mold it into something that is not even, it doesn't exist yet. Like, my process doesn't exist yet, because it's happening as time is going on. So I hope that makes sense. But like I said in the previous video, I'm a very spiritual person, and I really do believe that anything that, you know, is placed into your mind, a thought or something that you want or something that you want to achieve, you are meant to achieve that, because it was placed into your mind. The universe put it in your mind, and like, this is what you want to achieve, so I'm going to give you the thought and the thought process so that you can actually do it. Now, that's one thing. Another thing that I feel like I needed to work on, planning. So I really didn't have much of a plan until about 6 months in. I didn't have much of a plan until 6 months in. Like, honestly, I was just seeing everybody doing a certain thing, and I was kind of trying to model my business based off someone else's. And I feel like, yes, that is important. You should get advice from other people that have the success that you want. But then you need to figure out who you are and what kind of business person you are, or in what I do, what kind of mentor you are. And that's one thing that I feel like I took too long to do. I didn't have a plan. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was kind of like all over the place. And I feel like that's what kind of prolonged my process. It took me longer to get to this, like, the headspace that I'm at now, because I never did have an actual plan. So that's one thing I would say that I needed to work on, and maybe advice for you as well. Return on investment, right? On return on investment. Everybody, you know, has that, I guess, probably mindset of when they first get into a business opportunity. They're like, okay, by the time I'm a year in, if I'm going to put 12 months in, I need to be at this position, right? And I feel everyone does that. Everyone has expectations of where they want themselves to be, right? But I feel like you can't really do that. You can't. And I feel like specifically for what I do, I trade in the foreign exchange market, and I mentor other people. So basically I'm building a team. So I guess based off recruitment. So definitely I will say, on the foreign exchange market side, I have been able to learn the skill of trading in the foreign exchange market, and I have been very profitable. That I have not had an issue with at all. I've been good. Like, my process has been progressing, like, you know, gradually. But I do feel like on the business side, you know, building a business, building a team has been a little bit slower for me. Now, there have been people in this space that have come in and, you know, killed it. Like, within 13 or less months, like, they're at, you know, millionaire status. Like, and I mean that literally. I mean that literally. But, you know, that is not my position, and that's not my process. And again, like, referring back to what I said, I had to get comfortable that this is my process. It's not anyone else's. I'm not anyone else. So I just feel like I had a lot to learn. I had to do a lot of things, like I said, to get into this headspace, to get into a better headspace, to then progress. And I feel like I'm at that point. Like, I'm at that pivotal point where it's like, okay, you have to do something to get a different result, right? And I feel that I'm finally doing things differently, and I'm getting different results. So I feel like the past few months, it's been a lot of trial and error. Like, since my 9-month mark, it's been a lot of like trial and error with things. But I feel like I'm finally starting to understand that that's how this process goes. That's how it goes. It's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's going to be a lot of up and down. There's going to be a lot of things I have to figure out, right? But that's the beautiful part about this. Like, it's my process, and I'm learning new things as I go. So I will say return on investment has been good with the foreign exchange market side. It's just with the building side, my process is a little bit slower, and that's just is what it is. Anybody watching this and is interested in joining iMarkets Live, also known as IML, don't take what I'm saying as like, oh, she's saying like it's been hard for her, so you can't do it. I'm not saying that. You could come in and do so much better than me. That's the best part about this, is like, you are in control completely. So I feel that don't take my experience and say that it's going to be yours. just saying. But continuing on, so I kind of gave you little tips here and there, but then what I will say, planning is important. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, literally. It's so important to plan. Make sure you're setting out a proper plan for what you want to do. And if you do not have any experience in the field, figure it out. This platform is a great place to figure it out. It's a great place where I figured out a lot of things. It's important to do that. It's definitely important to do that. And also, like I said, comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. Literally, do not compare yourself to anyone else. Don't do that, because if you're doing that, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. Literally, you're setting yourself up for failure at this point. And it's not, so definitely I think that's something I had to learn, and that's something that you should definitely take into consideration if you do want to do the same exact thing as me. What I will say too is, you know, personal development is so important, especially because I am very young and there's a lot of things that I don't know. There's a lot of things that I still have to learn. Personal development has been a big part of that though. Like, personal development is so important to just your development in life in general. And I feel like, again, going back to spirituality and what I do, I feel like it goes hand in hand, and it's so important. Like, who you are, you need to know who you are as a person. You need to know who you are underneath the surface. You know, there's so much more to just being your own boss and running your own business. Like, you need to personally develop every single day, because if you don't take the time to get better every single day, the people within your business will not do the same, and your business itself will not do the same. It will not get better every single day. So I personally feel that you know, when I first started this, I was a completely different person than I am today. I'm a completely different person, and I thank you, Trade House Investment Group, specifically the investment group I'm a part of. I thank you for, you know, I'm just saying it that way because there's so many people to thank, but like, the people within this investment group have really been a big part of my personal development, and that's one thing that I think you should really take seriously. And I think mentorship is important. Like, whatever you're doing, find a mentor. Like, find one. Like, find somebody that's successful in the field that you want to be in, and literally attach yourself to them. I'm so serious. Attach yourself to them. And if you're not in the same place, call them, text them, making sure you're talking to them as often as possible, getting as much input from them as possible, because that's going to be a big part of your development, and it'll speed up your process a lot more. So be humble. You know, don't be too prideful and think that, you know, you can't ask for help. It's important to ask for help. But yeah, that's really all I could really say about, you know, my 1 year mark. I'm proud of myself for sticking this out, honestly, because I'm a person, if you know me in real life, I will quit on things real easy, because when people upset me or I'm not a fan, I'm just like, I'm out. But, you know, this is something that I've stuck out for a whole entire year, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So that's really all I have to say. If you guys have any input, any advice you want to give me, if you've been an entrepreneur for however long, definitely drop it down below. I will definitely interact. I'm interested in hearing your input. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one.